Donald Trump is rarely at a loss for words, but he seemed stumped by one of my questions today. Let's get some more of our interview. Give me one positive thing about President Obama.
It's very hard. That's the only really tough question you've asked me this morning. That's a very hard thing to say. I'll tell you what I thought, and I really felt strongly about this. When he won the election, which, you know, was very hard, in all fairness, for John McCain to win because Karl Rove did such a rotten job with Bush. So it was a very hard thing for anybody to win that election. So when he won, I said, at a minimum, he's going to be a great cheerleader for this country. And he's turned out to be a negative force. He's creating class warfare. He's creating all sorts of things, including the so-called Occupy movement. But when he won, I really thought, at a minimum, that he was going to be a great cheerleader for the country. And he's not even a good cheerleader. There's very little I can say positive.
He killed bin Laden.
He didn't kill bin Laden. You know, he gets so much credit for that. Okay, excuse me.
He authorized it.
Excuse me.
He had the guts to make that decision.
And the genius, excuse me, guts. You're sitting in the White House. They come to you, and here's the question. We can take him out. We have him. You're the president. We can take him out with a missile, and we can go get him. Now, the third thing is leave him alone. And nobody, only a very stupid person would say that. So we can take him out with a missile. We can do either way. Either way, it's okay. All right? Either way, it's okay. So he said, all right, let's go get him. Why does he get so much credit? You know, they give him credit for that. He shouldn't get so much credit. He happened to be sitting in that...
It wasn't a slam dunk.
Excuse me.
You remember Jimmy Carter and the hostage rescue?
Jimmy Carter was incompetent. Look, very nicely. We can take him out with a missile, or we can pick him up. He's sitting in the White House. These military guys who were there long before he was there, they found him. Now, the bad news is Pakistan should have told us this years before because they knew exactly where he was. He's sitting right next to one of their major military bases. So, I mean, for them not to have told us is very insulting. But I don't know why Obama gets credit for the whole bin Laden thing. He's sitting there. He's got three choices. Leave him alone, which nobody would do. Take him out with a missile, or take him out with the military. So he said, take him out with the military. Okay. Congratulations.
If it would have failed, it would have been a disaster.
The ones who should get the... No, it would have been a disaster. It could have failed, but he didn't. He's not the one that made it successful.
Some of those Navy SEALs would have been killed.
They were great. They were great.
But they're great guys. It was a dangerous mission.
They're great guys. But anybody in that position, sitting, happened to be president, if you walk in and say, we have bin Laden, we can either get him this way or that way, either, honestly, either solution's okay. I almost think the other would have been better, except this way there's a little more proof. And a lot of people disagree with what happened after the fact and the way he was treated so solemnly. I mean, they treated him so solemnly after the fact. Cleanse the body, wash the body. I mean, give me a break. But anybody sitting in that office, Wolf, would have done. So I keep hearing about, oh, bin Laden. The military did an incredible job. And they called him and they said, we have him. And he said, go get him. What's he going to say? Don't get him? And he gets all this credit? It's a lot of crap.
One final question. I interviewed Steve Forbes. You know Steve Forbes?
Yes, I do.
Good man.
Right, good man.
This week, he says you're worth $2.9 billion. You say you're worth $7 billion.
Well, look, Steve is a good guy. First of all, Steve doesn't do that. They don't have access to my numbers. And what I did is this. I was going to file a financial disclosure form because I was getting ready to run, but then I have the equal time provisions, and NBC was desperate to keep me, okay? Like, desperate to keep me, and you can understand, because I get ratings. Just like your show right now, we'll get ratings. You know, if you get ratings, you have me on. If I don't get ratings, I can be the greatest guy in the world. If you don't get ratings, you don't want to interview Trump. Is that a correct statement?
I like interview. I like it. I interview a lot of people who don't do good.
Okay, fine. Okay, so
I like interviewing you because you're not afraid to say what you...
I'm not afraid. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do financial disclosure. They're like 78 or 98 pages. It's a huge form. But they have summary sheets. And I said to myself, you know, I'm doing a book, and I decided that I was going to, at least for the time being, I was going to pass on this thing because of the equal time provision. And I said to myself, why don't I just take the summary sheets and put them in the book? So it showed over $7 billion. It showed a tremendous amount of cash. I have friends that are more impressed, frankly, with the cash because...
$300 million.
Yeah, close to $300 million. In cash, that's cash, cash, cash. That's not like buildings and brick and mortar and all sorts of crap. That's, I mean, cash.
So you invest in treasuries?
I put them in banks that are good. You got to watch for good banks today.
You're not getting much interest.
I don't even put them in treasuries. I put them in bank. You get very little interest. You get like nothing. You get less than 1%, but at least it's there. But only strong banks. If there is such a thing, you have to be careful. That could hurt me very badly if these banks start going, cratering. But the fact is, so I had a thing. So it came out to over $7 billion, very little debt. You've seen it. Very little debt, tremendous cash, which is, by the way, the position our country should be in. But in all fairness to Forbes, they don't have my numbers. They don't have my... This is the first time I've done this. I actually printed the statements, and I put them in. So instead of giving them to the government, I gave them to the public, and I gave them to the book. Now, I may have a chance to do financial disclosure. But I said to myself, why do I want to do this? I'm proud, the fact is, of having built a great company. I built a great company in a relatively short period of time, with billions of dollars of net worth, with hundreds of millions of dollars of cash, with very little debt, with, by the way, like this asset, would you say this is about as good as it gets? I have many of these in terms of the quality assets. What I own is real quality. I've always been into the world of quality. This country needs quality. We're laughed at by the world. I deal with the world. I deal with the Chinese. I deal with Turkish. We just made a big deal with Turkey. I deal with a lot of the people of the world. They cannot believe. They tell me. They're friends of mine. They say, we don't believe what we're getting away with the United States. They tell me that. I don't know if they know I'm going to be on your show saying that. But they can't believe how stupid, and I use the word stupid, how stupid our leaders are. They can't believe it, that they can get away with this. So maybe someday they won't, and we'll be a rich nation again.
The book is entitled Time to Get Tough, Making America #1 Again. Donald J. Trump. Put the J in there, too. Right?
I might as well. A little formal.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks very much. Thank you very much, Wolf.